two presidential campaigns. He served as a senior advisor to the president of the White House as well, coaching him through debates. He remains a close friend as a preeminent Chicago-based political consultant. He's led dozens of local and statewide candidates to victory out there and also across the country. He's now the director of the University of Chicago's Institute of Politics and the author of a great new book, Believer, My 40 Years in Politics. David Axelrod joins me now. I don't read every book that I have on this show, but I'm reading this one, and I've read a lot of it. And let's start with the first big surprise in the book. Sarah Palin. She is an issue of dispute in our production staff almost every day. Some people are true believers in her as a political product. They just think she is something. You were worried from the time of her great acceptance speech, where she just dazzled the country, up until the Lehman Brothers crash, which was only 12 days, September 3rd, 2008 to September 15th. In those 12 days in this book, it's amazing what you were concerned about, her potential.
Well, there's no doubt that she was a little energy drink for the McCain campaign that badly needed it, and it shook things up. And it shook things up because she provided this sense of change and newness and an assault on the Washington establishment, which was really undermining our message. So, you know, by the time the day before the Lehman Brothers crash, we were getting together because our poll had us 1 point ahead in that race. And it was largely because of the energy that Palin had inserted into the McCain campaign.
Here's my favorite. I love the way you write. You are a good writer, by the way. You don't have any ghost out there. You're a writer. The East Coast establishment might disdain her as unlettered and ill-prepared, but that would only make her more appealing to millions of Americans who felt that they had been getting the raw end of the deal. That you understand that, the way that Carville understands it, that there's a lot of working class, regular good Democrats who vote Republican once in a while because of the culture thing and the attitude towards the elite. They don't like the elite.
See, that was a mistake people made when she was picked. People focused on the fact that she was a woman. The fact that she was a woman wasn't the key. The fact that she had this cultural affinity for these disaffected working class Americans was what made her potent.
She wasn't Yale. She wasn't Seven Sisters. She wasn't elite. She went to 5 colleges like a lot of people and finally got a degree.
Yeah, and she spoke to them. And when she spoke at the convention and really kind of thumbed her nose at the establishment, she found a responsive chord. That speech was well received.
Yeah, anyway. You also write that I was going to say she's very attractive as a candidate by any standard since Jack Kennedy. I don't think anybody looks as good as her. Anyway, the trouble early, go ahead.
One thing I wanted to say about this, though, Obama had a really interesting reaction when we heard she had been picked. He said, you know, I understand why he's doing it. He said, but you know, this is really tough, this national thing. It took me 6 months to be a good candidate. He said, she may be the greatest politician since Ronald Reagan, that she could come out of Alaska after a year of being governor and handle this. He said, but I give this 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Let's see how it settles. And the truth is she ran into some problems.
Katie Couric, anyway, she asked her what she reads, which you could say was a snarky question, except it isn't. It's a reasonable question. She didn't want to answer it. Anyway, you saw, let's talk about the 2012 election, which turned out to be much closer. You talk about the